Welcome to the Engineering Influence Podcast from ACEC. We're here at our 2025 Fall Conference in San Diego. If you can hear the noise behind us, it's because our first general session just let out. And to kick off that general session, we are joined by a very good speaker on the topic that we have focused on this year's event, which is thinking differently, especially in the age of technology, rapid evolution of technology, AI, and the like. Kaihan Krippendorff. He is a McKinsey alum. He is also the host of the OutThinkers podcast. He's the author of OutThinking the Competition. He has brought his ideas framework to companies large and small across the world to kind of change the way they're thinking, to look ahead, and to create what he calls the fourth option, to kind of reevaluate and re-energize the way you're thinking and trying to plan for the future. And very pleased to have him as our guest on the program. Kaihan, welcome.
Thank you.
And
it's great to be here.
Yeah, this is great. You had probably the biggest audience that we've had in a while.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
So much energy.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you started off by saying that you're a mechanical engineer by education. Your son Makar is
He wants to be a civil engineer.
Civil engineer.
He's decided that.
Fantastic. So let's go into a little bit about, just for those who weren't in the room, kind of how you approach strategy and kind of looking ahead and trying to figure out how you can stay ahead of rapid, the change has already happened. It's rapid. But what's your framework for doing that?
It's basically says that we need to come up with different ideas when the rules change, right? And the way you come up with ideas, there's certain like natural ways that people end up doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We like doing the same thing. And there are 5 reasons, and you can address them by these 5 things. Imagining a different future, dissecting the problem and focusing on a different leverage point, expanding our option set, so we have many more options to choose from, analyzing and choosing those options, avoiding doing what's been done before, and then selling is building buy-in and support from those we need support from for the new strategy. Yeah,
and that's the basis for the ideas framework right there. And you used a couple of good examples in your presentation. I think the one that is most relatable is Apple.
Yep.
And the rise of MP3s, but not just the rise of MP3s, but the way that Apple realized that it wasn't a question of what the content was, but it was more distribution and how people are going to get it.
Right.
If you want to delve into that a little bit about how they saw that.
Yeah, there's an important concept called the job to be done, which is what do our customers actually really, really hire us for?
Yeah.
And we often confuse that. And so in this case, music companies started thinking is that what people really wanted was really high fidelity music.
Yeah.
But really what we want, why do we want to listen to music? For me, it's like to control my state. I want to be in a certain mood. I want to wake up and be energized or whatever. And having a high quality soundtrack isn't so important, but being able to have a lot of selection. So Apple saw that MP3 players was becoming an alternative way to deliver on the job to be done. And what that means is that what you want to out deliver on is different. I don't care what the quality of music is. I want to kind of get you 1,000 songs in your pocket. And then that changes what capabilities you need. You need distribution capabilities, not production capabilities. But the main thing that we talked about was that underneath all that is a mindset. The new game requires a new mindset. Just like athletes, when they learn a new approach to playing a game, they have to go through this practice to build in their intuition the right choices.
And that's been baked in, it seems, to Apple's DNA from Steve Jobs early on, right? It's kind of think differently. It's that you're not trying to hit the market demand. It's the whole idea as well. The market's going to want it when we bring it out.
Yes.
It's not anticipating demand, but driving it.
Yes.
Let me follow up on that Apple question. It's kind of tied in a little bit to AI, because there's always that talk that Apple's missed the boat on AI. That for some reason everybody else is moving forward, pushing, and they're saying, well, AI is not as fully fleshed out in Apple's operating systems or products. Where do you see that? Do you think that they're just waiting and just trying to kind of figure out where to go with it and realize that everybody else is too early to the game?
3 quick things to say. First of all, Apple doesn't view itself as a technology company. It views it as a customer company. When they changed, they really started scaling when they took the name Apple Computer and changed it to Apple. So that's the first thing, is knowing who they are. And so as such, I think they follow customers carefully. And they're going to follow the customers as they ask for the AI.
Yeah.
The third thing I would say is they have a long pattern of being second. We think it was innovative, but they didn't develop the first MP3 player.
Yeah.
They didn't develop the first smartphone. They didn't develop the first a tablet.
Yeah.
They wait. Then when they see the market coming, then they come in better.
Yeah. So it's a good indicator of exactly where we are right now and where they are.
Yeah.
Let's apply that a little bit to the engineering industry, because you made a good point earlier in the presentation that, there's certain things in the work that will not change. It's grounded in physics. You have things that are immutable. You're not going to be able to do that. But when it comes to the business side of things, norms, regulations, all that changes, right? So for an engineering firm leader, for a CEO who's trying to figure out 5-10 years down the line, what are my opportunities here, especially with technology growing, a greater demand in the marketplace for digital delivery. It's not just the bridge now, it's the data surrounding the bridge, right? Yes. In your experience, how should a leader take advantage of this opportunity to kind of set the framework, to do the right strategic planning, to position themselves appropriately for it?
Yeah, I mean, in the talk, we covered like 5 different areas and 5 things, but in the talk, we talked about these 5 different areas. But I think of all of them, I think that the best starting point is to imagine that we are not an engineering company. We are a something company that happens to be doing what we're doing through engineering. And when we take that mindset, which is a little bit more like the Apple mindset, is what is the job? What are our customers really trying to do? They don't want a bridge, right? They want less traffic. They want the city to grow. So we are help cities grow and create manageable lifestyles for their citizens company. We happen to do that through engineering. And then you could think about how would that kind of company approach this challenge? And what you'll see is that there'll be other technologies or approaches or expertises that you would bring into the solution that right now you're not thinking are within the scope of what you do because you're defining yourself in a certain way.
That's an interesting idea and way of thinking. We always talk, at least in our world, on more of the comms and marketing side of saying that, the firms need to talk more about results and impact and less on the technical aspects of it, right? It's a question of yes, what is the end result of like the San Diego Pure Water that we talked about, the mayor talked about earlier. 50% of the water is going to be reused and recycled for the city of San Diego. You're fixing a massive issue. So you're helping the world become a little bit more sustainable. You do that through engineering. And it's a shift in mindset.
That's right.
That really separates companies.
Yeah, I think that's one of the shifts in mindset is what business am I really in? Right. Another shift that I think goes along with that and naturally is what I call coordinate the uncoordinated, because it's unlikely that you are going to provide all of the solutions to the water problem. And so what you do, and it also relates to another shift in mindset about be good. So you combine those two, if we can create this movement around sustainable water consumption in San Diego, and then we can say we can coordinate all the other stakeholders, then we can start being part of a collective solution. John Deere is a company that's doing that really well. They created this movement of precision farming, and they know they can't do the drones. They know they can't do all of the connectivity. So they have a partnership with Elon Musk's satellite business, and with all these other ecosystem partners, and it comes from getting behind this shared mission.
And by using that, you can position yourself to be either the linchpin, the coordinator for other companies to come together, which creates opportunities for partnering and actually increases your opportunities. One of the things that I don't think you addressed in your presentation directly was the idea of the entrepreneur within corporations and firms. Explain that a little bit and how important that could be for an engineering firm to try to move into this area of thinking.
I think it's really important. When we talk about the innovators, we often admire entrepreneurs, who go to the West Coast in their garage. But what my research shows, if we look at the real transformative technology innovations like the internet, stents, DNA sequencing, mobile phones, 70% of those were developed by entrepreneurs, employees inside established companies. So who is going to invent the next thing is 70% chance it's going to be someone in your firm, not the entrepreneur that's independent. And so we have this massive brain strength, this repository of intelligence that I really think we're wasting. Another piece of research that I just released on Monday showed that when you find a market need or a customer need and you broadly let it be known inside your company and the ecosystem, on average, there's a 71.4% chance that the solution already exists in your house.
In your house,
right? So there's huge potential in tapping and activating that entrepreneurship.
You know, but there are certain firms that thrive on that and are open culturally to allow those voices to be heard, or at least feel comfortable in going outside of the lane. And then, of course, there are others that are not. I mean, that's a differentiator there. From a CEO standpoint and from a product line manager standpoint, you know, what is the best way to create that system that encourages those entrepreneurs to be heard?
I think the number one thing is to appreciate that the probability of success with an entrepreneurial idea is low. A 10% chance is good. Jeff Bezos has this great quote: if you have a 1 in 10 chance, hold on.
No, you're fine.
Jeff Bezos has a great quote: if you have a 1 in 10 chance of 100 times payoff, you got to take that bet every time. But you have to be ready to lose 9 times out of 10. So if we can introduce this idea that it's okay to lose 9 times out of 10, we will invite more ideas. And what happens is someone proposes an idea and it doesn't work out, or it's not adopted, and they never hear why, and then they stop sharing ideas. What we need to do is say, great, this idea, we looked at it, we're not going to do it, but thank you. Your idea added to those 10 ideas, which allowed us to get that one idea, and we want more of it.
Or that one idea actually gives the foundation for the different idea, which then grows out of something else. And instead of having somebody leave the firm and have that idea as the kernel of their business, have that part of yours.
Absolutely. And it's so much better for them to do it if your firm can be the platform in which they can achieve their idea more rapidly, because you have scale, you have a sales force, you have engineers, you have systems. It can be so much more fun to innovate on that kind of platform than to go and try to build it all.
Because no matter, even if you're a straight, good old civil structural kind of, you've been doing bridges for 100 years, there's still a lot of room for innovation. There's still a lot of ways to think about yourself as a transportation or modality company. You're bringing people from point A to point B, break the thinking that you just do bridges. And have those ideas.
And the ideas don't really have to be big. Let's look at IKEA, for example. Transformed furniture retail with a flat pack box. What was a flat pack box? There was one guy, designer, he was building something in his house, a chair, a table. He couldn't get it into the back of his car when he was driving to work. So he took the legs off. And when he got there, he said, why don't we just sell all of our furniture now? It's not expensive. It's not risky. They could test out, and it transforms. So there are small ideas can have profound
impacts. There's a lot to go into. I would really encourage everybody out there to check out OutThinkers podcast and to check out Kaihan's book, OutThinking the Competition. For anybody out there who wants to get more information immediately, I know you have a slide deck you're going to make available to the conference attendees, but where should people go to learn a little bit more and dig into some of your research?
I would say LinkedIn is probably the best way to connect with me and learn from you.
Awesome. We'll put a link in the show notes to Kaihan's LinkedIn, and I really appreciate you to take the time out of the morning to follow up with a podcast after a presentation. It's never the easiest thing.
No, it's a thrill to be here and to be with this energy and with this intelligence that's in the room. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And again, this has been Engineering Influence podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies. We'll see you next time.